All right. Good morning, good afternoon. Welcome, welcome. Got that dog next to me as well. Luca appearance coming in soon. Hey, bud. Hey, Luca. You come here? You want to join? You stubborn? Come here. Hey. Say hello. Say hello. Come here. Come here, young man. Ooh, corgi ASMR. Nom. You gonna sneeze? Breath's kind of stinky, dude. Very fluffy. Luca says hello. He's like, please put me down. All right. I just gave you a little bath. You don't smell that bad. You're catching, dude. There we go. Thank you for your cooperation. You don't pay any rent, bud. You do produce a lot of fur, a lot of floof. Thank you for your participation, bud. Give a little bit for some folks to hop in. Bit of an impromptu. There's some planning involved, but I know it's a busy enough weekend right before Halloween, so plenty of events going on. My weekend didn't happen to be as busy, so I typically like to reserve at least some time to get live streams every month or so. This being the so. And the last one I did was a couple months back, so cheers. This is, of course, coffee. Let's see how... I haven't done this in a minute, and let's see, making sure it looks good. I'm always trying to refine some of my stream setup because I am an amateur at best. So if anything looks bad, yes, it is totally on purpose. That is the new age of just raw, no skill, no talent. Oh, there's... Okay. Yes, morning. Hello. Mr. King of Games, thank you, sir. Appreciate that. Yes, it is the that time of year. I am a almost Halloween baby, so my birthday has almost always had a Halloween theme to it, at least when I was younger, and I don't mind that too much because Halloween is a fun holiday, although it should be an actual holiday. It'd be nice if we didn't actually have to work or folks that didn't have to go to school that day. Makes the day after a little bit more challenging, you know? All right, we've got some questions. I'll go ahead and just read the chat. Point of today is nothing too fancy. I've just got some gameplay. I'll probably just play on the side, maybe look at some silly things. But feel free to ask questions. We'll hang out. I'll start by saying that I recently started channel memberships for this channel. So I'm making some exclusive stuff here and there for channel members and releasing just some additional behind the scenes for those who really want to go above and beyond to support the channel. Part of that was brought about by the realization that I am just not going to be doing almost anything with brands going forward. At least that's what recent history is telling me. So screw it. I'll do my own stuff to help offset some of the costs here. And I enjoy doing this stuff, so anyone who wants to, again, go above and beyond and support the channel, that is the Burt Troopers. I greatly appreciate it. You are, of course, not required to in any way. I will not judge anyone for not wanting to give money. but that is an option for those who are interested in going, like I said, above and beyond. There is also the I think I put it in there, just like the one-time donation for stream stuff. So all that in the description box below if you are interested in supporting. Otherwise, I just appreciate you being here and chatting. So let's, without further ado, just jump into it. Do you collect vintage blasters? General Strife, I sort of will, but not really collect. I know some folks who actually do a bit more on the collecting side, so if I have to compare and contrast with them, I'm going to say no, I don't really collect vintage blasters. But I do have a general interest in vintage stuff, and as the years go by, I become more and more interested in those ones, just because there's always going to be an appeal to me of the old stylings, the old kind of like look and aesthetic. At this rate, Nerf is not really putting out too many that follow suit. I'll have something to show that they almost are doing it, but I don't know how reliable that's going to be going forward. So if I had the space, I'd probably collect more of them. I'd probably rather use some of them. I don't want to just leave all of mine in package. That's not how I do things. From Tog Gold. Q energy. That's not fun. Do you think zoomed optics are practical for Nerf? I mean, they can be if you're actually like really dialed in with your darts, using the right darts optimized for your blaster. You know, you actually have reliability. Then sure. I think it's silly. I am a big fan of just aiming down sights with short range projectile motion, and you know how foam darts are. Sometimes they go where you want, and sometimes they don't. That's just how they work, or don't work, more importantly. So I think some people get a little bit too into the weeds on all that jazz, and I can't say that I'm a huge, like, fan of, like, spending a bunch of money on optics. There's some things that definitely help, like having something on a rail, if you have a rail, is better than nothing. I often will just have, like, a little... it's out of reach. Just like the little sight on the Nexus Pro, I sometimes throw onto stuff just because it's a point of reference. Yeah, you probably want something in the front and the back at the very least to help you aim. But again, I don't don't care that much. I know some people do, and some people are really dialed into that sniper lifestyle. But also, if you go too far into it, I'm gonna say it, cringe. So sure, if you want to, that's fine. It can look fun, though. Having a big optic on your blaster, there's definitely an aesthetic to it. Like, I'll fully admit, I've sometimes put, like, a big scope on a blaster, not because it's going to help me in any regard, but because it's going to look cool. And sometimes that means that in a game, you'll look cool to other people, or you'll intimidate other people, or it'll just look interesting on camera. And as someone who records gameplay footage and uploads it, then that is often a consideration. And you have to balance what is going to be good in-game versus like what's going to be good post-game with editing involved. What a fun life that is. Buy my optic, I wasted $400. Yeah, sure. Sure, Danny. If I get $400 donated to me today, I will buy your optic. How's that sound? I think we can definitely do that. That's a great stream goal. What could go wrong? Let's see. I have Oh, I already have it up. I didn't even realize what was on my main screen. Look, that's how attentive I am. I think I have everything set up. I have Nerf's Instagram pulled up right now, as you may have noticed, because I have no life, and I check Nerf Instagram sometimes. I was going to have TikTok up, but I'm not that brave. So we're just going to view through here. If you haven't noticed, because I'm sure not too many people pay attention to this, YouTube is kind of a dead zone for companies posting their most unhinged, like, vertical videos, which on the one hand, thank you for sparing this platform, but on the other hand, can't I just, like, put it in that spot where I'm typically hanging out? I don't want to have to go to, like, TikTok to find this stuff. That's, like, probably the main reason that I still have a TikTok and that I will check it here and there is so that I can actually check in on like what X-Shot and Dart Zone and Nerf are doing. I hate that. Like, but that's like one of the only places that they post that stuff. So, darn it. But Instagram's close enough. They just don't do it on YouTube. There's been sharing some, I don't want to say unhinged stuff here, because like I said, TikTok really is the place for that. But the all the stuff they've been sharing recently has got me feeling like I need to do a call out for where Murph is. You remember Murph? You know, the Murph that literally just started this stream? Remember Murph? I kind of know where Murph is, but I technically don't. And also, the greater world doesn't know. Nerf, you can't just introduce a mascot. Scroll. Where's Murph? Scroll. Oh, look, end series announcement. Scroll. God darn scrolling. No Murph. Where the heck is Murph? I thought that Murph was your big new epic mascot that was going to change everything. Oh, Mr. Beast! Where's Murph? Where the heck is Murph? Yeah, see, like, this is it's laughable how little. There he is. They are. Or Murph is they, them. Moto Blitz back in December of 2022. We love to see it. So Murph has been MIA, I think. Oh, no. We got another Murph. Sorry. A little zoomed in there. February 2023. I'm going to say there's probably some other announcements, and they probably are running some commercial right now that has Murph in it, because why not? All right, see, I'm slowly refinding these. July 2023. Can we get within a year, though? Can we find a Murph? Can we find ourselves a Murph? It's like once N Series dropped, Murph was just killed off. You hate to see it. Sorry, I'm a year off. What the... Someone correct me. Jesus. Once, look, that was a Nerf Pro. Oh, Nerf Pro killed Murph. That sucks. Hello, Fab and Nerf. Hello. Nerf Ball is kill. Oh, we can talk about that in a second, too. Holy Nerf Crocs. I had no idea that Crocs had, like, such a short shelf life, or at least, like, they do so many collaborations now that you'll see a new Croc, and then if you don't order it within, like, 3 months, it'll be delisted from their own site. So, like, you can't go, I'm pretty sure, to, like, the Crocs website and find Nerf Crocs. You have to find them from a separate seller. Like, what? Has it really been that long? Okay, at this point, yeah, it's been September 2023. It's been over a year. Okay, it's been a little bit of time. But this is still pretty quick, all things considered. Funny story about Nerf Crocs as well. I was out and about with my dog, and there were these two kids that came up that wanted to pet him, and of course he loves attention, so I said, yes, you can pet Luca. And one of them was wearing Nerf Crocs. And I would like to say, the amount of self-restraint I showed that day to not call out, like, in a positive way, like, oh my gosh, you're wearing Nerf Crocs. Please clap now. I was like, Brett, don't say anything about the Crocs. This is not the place. This is not the time. They have no idea who you are. Don't do it. Just don't do it. Just admire the fact that there are, in fact, and you found Nerf Crocs in the wild at a Nerf game, and that it just happened organically. So I thought that was hilarious, and I will remember that forever. So that was pretty dang funny. Anyways, Murph is missing in action, and I don't know if they're going to release Murph anytime soon. I was really sad that the San Diego Comic-Con I went to a couple years back, I missed Murph by like a day, so I have not had a chance to actually socialize with Murph. And now I worry that I'm never going to be able to meet Murph because, you got to add things to your bucket list. And a sentient thing of darts is a pretty solid thing to add. So we might need to do a call out to find Murph that will go unanswered by Hasbro. But hey, if you don't try, you won't get anywhere. So if we do see any signs that Murph is alive, that'll help. But otherwise, we're gonna have to do some digging, and I'm gonna have to contact a certain someone that might be able to help with that. Also, Nerf, you teased this toaster on April Fool's Day, and I think you should actually make it. Just saying. Oh look, it's end series. Merry birthday, Burf. Wow, that broke me. Thank you, Potato. Wow. Bring back Murph. I mean, maybe budget cuts. You hate to see it. Again, just like the whole series of announcements, like to try and get people engaged with, like, oh, this is our new mascot. Look how cursed it is. And now, what? Gone? All right. I'm no marketer, but what the heck? Come on, guys. But we got this. I mean, this made me think about Murph, because, like, in case you didn't see this, yes, this is not real. Whoever's doing Nerf's social media at least has, like, some creativity. But they really should follow through. There's no reason that they can't make something like this. They can make a normal Nerf dart too. Of course, they have to go all out on the N1 dart costume. Maybe it would be safer just because of like that head, and then you can throw yourself at people. I'd do it. Includes an extra dart to always have in your pocket, saying it's Nerf or nothing all night. What do you mean by that? What do you mean by that? Unlimited aura. Ability to find lost darts around the house. Sure. Blaster, you need to use this dart sold separately. Oh. Oh. Big. Okay. Unironically though, yeah, if they release something like this, I would go out and probably sport it. This falls in line with ideas that I have had for either loadouts or just costumes for videos ideas. Mr. Velocity Blasters, thank you, Tyvek. I appreciate it. N1 dart costume, unlimited aura, yes. Yeah, I'm not really sure where they're going with that. Oh, my watch says you need to move more. Now. That's cool, but can you wear Murph? Yeah, if you skin Murph, then you can always wear Murph. So, a little bit more, seriously about the Murph costume. It makes no sense if they are just kind of leaving it around somewhere, or at least whoever owns it is not doing anything with it. It seems like something that should be brought out. I am told that it is quite warm when you wear it, but winter is coming. Seems like a perfect time to wear out the high-quality Murph suit. Keep yourself warm. I would literally, yeah, I'd wear it if Nerf needs some contract work. Here's the real plot twist. I was Murph all along. Have you ever seen me and Murph in the same room? Yeah, I didn't think so. But, I don't know if I can get in touch with the right people to make any of that even happen. This would be such a silly and goofy idea. Okay, we're gonna, I'm sure it's owned by some Madison advertising agency. I know, but I want to. I just want to. I touched on this in my my more recent N series video about how, Hasbro did not invite me to their headquarters, and that's totally fine. That's their decision. It's their right. They can actually say who's invited to their party. In the past, I've talked with certain people who have had positive relationships with, Nerf, and they've agreed. It's like, Well, you know, Brett, like, you are ironically one of those people that are probably like one of the folks that Hasbro would be okay with like working with, because you'll use stock blasters in games. And granted, this was a few years ago, so it's like it hasn't really changed, but like I'll use stock blasters in games, right? I'll show them off, like not even just in like a joking light, but like literally trying to use them. And for whatever reason, maybe it is just because like, you know, my style of humor or just the way that I present, you know, videos, because it's not like perfect enough, that they don't want anything to do with me. But they do, but they don't, right? Like, we're still friends on TikTok. I actually have a response from them recently on something on Instagram and TikTok. That, sorry, I'm acting like that means something. It really doesn't. But the point is, like, they don't hate me, but they obviously don't see me as like a preferred creator that they're willing to kind of like invite to their own campus. So I really don't know the reason or the rationale, but like, if Nerf reached out to me and they were like, hey, we have a fun video idea, or we'd like to work with you to use like this next blaster in your game. Like, if they sent me something, say it's the new N series stuff, and we made it like this whole funny thing of like, hey, I bet you can't use this in a game. And my response was, I bet you I can. And then I show you gameplay footage of me running like some of the new N series blasters in a game, like running hard, getting tagged out, but eventually like getting some tags. I'm sorry, like, is that not like good enough to show off to our small hobby? Again, just for like free products or something, or maybe like well clipped, they can use that themselves. I just I don't get it. It's very confusing to me, but again, it is completely their decision, so it ends right there. But I always wondered, because it sounded like for a while that I was on like a decent track to be, in my own way, like okay with like getting in good with Nerf, because I wasn't doing like crazy mods. I wasn't making dangerous mods or, you know, just calling them out left and right. I mean, I call out a lot of companies left and right for my own fun, and that's probably why no one likes me now. So just a little history there. It's very strange though, still confusing. Like, if they made this N1 dart suit and they're like, Brett, you want to use this? I'd be like, oh yeah, I do. Marketing does seem to make stuff then forget about it. Yeah, you know, it's hard to keep track of all this stuff. How could you? This is also, you know, someone who hyper fixates on various details, where for marketing people, it's just the job. It's just a job. Oh, hello, Mr. Xfox Games. I know there's like some event today up north. There's like a double header weekend this weekend, which I'm very sad I can't join. But like I said, I'm taking it's an easy, quiet weekend for me. So just chilling, hanging back. That was a word. And we're gonna keep it simple today. And maybe take the boy out when he needs to walk around. Yesterday morning went from, we'll go for a nice little mile walk to a 4-mile walk. So just enjoying that SoCal sun. I somehow found a nanofire sealed on a shelf in drugstore, and I have an Ender 3. Should I print the nanomag? Yes. I don't see why not. I mean, it's a fun little thing. I'm not saying the nanomag is like gonna change your life. Could change your life. I shouldn't make any unsubstantiated claims on a negative side. It's worth trying out. I mean, the best thing about those kinds of mods is that if you try out, you know, a print, you attach everything and you're like, I hate this, or I just don't care for it, I'm not going to use it, then you remove it and you continue using the blaster. And I'm going to be completely honest, nanofire is not, in my opinion, like super high-end, like crazy rare or crazy expensive, so I think it's something that you could try out and have fun with. So sure, go ahead. Murph is actually a bioweapon designed by Hasbro that is a fusion of a human being and foam. Conventional foam ammunition just gets absorbed into its body, so you must use other ammo. See, why are we more creative than anything we ever saw from Nerf? Obviously, Murph was just like an advertising tool. Like, Murph is here, Murph is a bit cursed, and Murph is holding, like, the new blaster of interest. But why did we never see, like, jokes about, yeah, someone, like, shooting at Murph with a blaster and then just, like, the darts don't go anywhere because they just get absorbed. Or like then Murph holds out their hand and just like a wall of darts like hits someone else. Like they literally could have. It's right there. It doesn't take that much mental power to put that together. Come on, Hasbro. You don't even need to pay me. I have these ideas. Need to make it north soon. You don't go north. It's damp up there. It's wet. It's cold. But yeah, same. 'Tis the season. It is getting to that time of year though when it's less desirable to go up north. So no judgment there. Speaking of Murph, the reason that also Murph comes to mind, because like Hasbro's like, oh, we'll partner with Blue Colts mascot. Sorry, I really don't follow too much football. Colts are football, right? Yeah. Like what? You have your own mascot. I guess this is really just to get, more publicity, right? Because obviously partnership will get increased visibility. That's just how it goes. But like, have Murph meet this person. You made your own, gritty-esque mascot, and now you're partnering with another gritty-esque mascot. Also, I'm sorry. Can we address that? We've got the Nerf Pro background, and then we've got an N-Series blaster. What are we advertising? We gotta get on track, Nerf. What the hell are we doing? More like Hasbro. Yes, the classic. Trade me back for the winter No. Wrong time of... No. This is the time of year where I say I'm good to stay. No, thank you. Colts mascot is peak, though. Is it? I just told you comparisons, though. I'd rather have a Murph or I'd rather have a Gritty. I also just don't... I don't have any awareness to these other mascots, but I know that there's a style, and obviously it is fine. It is fine if they want to do these little trick shots things. I didn't realize the Colts mascot has stuff coming out of its nose. Should probably get that checked out. It's good to see, too, that this mascot is a decent shot with N-Series darts. Although, that was like a full mag and they got 2. Let's see. Is that a full sprinter mag? Was that 16 darts and they got 2? Was the whole point that this was accurate? Was that the only take they were gonna do? I'm so confused by Nerf's social media. I thought they're supposed to like try to make this engaging and like that's fine. That's impressive. Like, good job. Again, probably not necessarily the first take, but I get doing these. That's fine. And again, like, Nerf has sports lines, and it makes sense for them to do sports collaborations. They've always done that. So football, basketball, totally good. Someone asked here, more Nerf Alpha Strike? People are brain dead. Trick shot challenge. Basically, it's when you can't afford a Dude Perfect anymore. Hi, man with hat. Hello. Nixie Terra. With flywheels, that's the best take. I thought the Sprinter was supposed to be more accurate. That's what I heard. Better than the Pinpoint. Anything's better than the Pinpoint, that's for sure. And also, like, graphic design is my passion. Like, I think I could have made a better graphic than this. Look how fake those darts look. Just a little bit more effort. What the? Ay. So anyways, as the kids say, Nerf is cooked. But the, what was the most... This still broke me, like the Torrent Prime, like the top. That hurt me. So, Nerf social media, once again, crushing it. I'm not brave enough to go on TikTok through here. I'm just not brave. And they have more, like, eye-rolling stuff on TikTok as well. Just like X-Shot. X-Shot stuff is pretty out there on TikTok, but I was realizing that, compared to, the stuff that gets posted on TikTok and Instagram, like, then you look at like Dart Zone's Instagram page and you're like, oh, it's like just the positive, just the advertising, and then they try to do some more stuff on TikTok. So, like I said earlier, only reason I'll stay on TikTok for now is because these companies post their most unhinged stuff there. Haha, modern brands doing wacky and wild stuff. Oh man, how things have changed. Have you seen the Nutter Butter account? It's too much. And then everyone, we need to bring back the Silence brand crab. But I also, as I said, not being in good with any of these companies, at least in my opinion, I guess there'd be nothing for me to lose, but I also don't want to... I want to say that 2 out of 6 was impressive. Yeah. Not having dark mode on Instagram. This is on desktop. Of course I have dark mode on my phone. I can make it worse. Anyways. So, this is your daily reminder that the main companies have terrible social media, and we love to see it. And that we will always be more creative than them, but they'll never give us a chance. Alright, there's your background now. Playing my own videos in the background. There's your dark mode. Damn it. Hey, you guys like Siren Blasters? Have you guys heard of that new company, Siren? Have you seen the blasters that they've been making? I think they're pretty cool. Should I check those out? Love Moon, I don't know what you're talking about. Therefore, no. I guess I'm not excited. I also have more footage that I might work on today for the next video of this nature. We will see. We'll see if I can get it done by Halloween. I might not. It's interesting that you got to keep up just in case the Zuru marketing department goes hog wild and offers you a trip to Tahiti. Yeah. X-Shots, yeah, they're doing some weird stuff, that's for sure. They're definitely trying to disrupt everything and anything that Nerf does, and in a lot of ways they're succeeding, so you gotta give them props for that. Though they were also trying to recruit people for their whole, user-generated content strategy, so they're also looking for more yes men to show off their upcoming products. But hey, if they want to fly people out, maybe not to Tahiti, they're a New Zealand-based company, if I'm not mistaken. Check out Siren Blasters. But which Siren Blaster? They're all so great. 99% of influencers stop before they get sponsored. The good ending. Good morning. Hope you're feeling better. They are cool, but also near misses. Adjustable catch isn't innovative, but the ergo makes me want to drink cleaning supplies. That is a very brand-friendly take that I am kind of in agreement on. So I posted a bit more of an in-depth explanation for my experience with Siren on my channel membership side, blah, 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 because also I didn't want to make that completely public. So the short of it that I will share is that I was also given the offer to check out Siren. Initially I missed it, and then I found it. So when I reached out, I was basically given, as I understand it, a similar opportunity as others who got the Siren Blasters early. The difference was when I found out that was the offer, I already knew what the blasters were, so it wasn't a mystery. And I could not get into an agreement with the company on sending me the stuff with what they wanted. So we just didn't agree on the terms of a video. So it didn't happen. There were a lot of hoops that they were looking for me to jump through, and I said I wasn't interested in that, so to speak. And they kind of ghosted me. They ghosted me twice, which is hilarious. And by the time that they ghosted me the second time, the blasters were already out. Like, all three of them were already out. So, now I can check them out just like everyone else. So I've been debating about picking up maybe one of them. If anything, I think I've seen all three now in person. I was considering mostly checking out the Mauler because I think that one had the biggest amount of red flags for me, as far as like, I like what's going on here, but I also do not like a lot of other stuff. So part of me wanted to pick up that one to potentially share my actual thoughts. It's also right in the middle of, like, price-wise. You know, it's not the cheapest, it's not the most expensive, and it also makes sense for me, like, what I might use. The adjustable FPS also gives me thoughts. The ergonomics give me a lot of thoughts. So, yeah, if you want to see a Siren Blaster review, maybe just let me know. And then I can definitely not work with Siren in the future. I love getting hit in the face with pump. Yeah, I know. I've seen some people come out to try to be a little bit more positive on the Nerf Pro stuff, and I totally understand. Like, my thoughts after using them here and seeing them a little bit more too is, like, they're definitely usable. Like, the sender is usable as it is. As long as you don't completely jam it up, and it does work when you get it. The torrent needs a little bit of work before it can be usable. That's just, sorry. I can try to use it, but yeah, just the number of jams I had too. And I've seen other people who are like, they're jamming it with the stock darts. Like, that shouldn't be the case. At least the sender can usually power through them. But nah, they're not like, yeah, they're not complete and utter trash, but everything's got its own modding platform. It's a little crunchy, that's for darn sure. Have you heard of TAC Pro? It's a European foam blaster company, and it's kind of awesome. I have not. Love Moon, I don't. TAC Pro. Does not ring a bell. To be completely honest, there are plenty of blasters and most likely companies that elude me to this day because there's just so much out there now. It used to be pretty easy to keep track of all the new blasters and the companies. Now there's a lot. So I definitely don't pretend to be, like, up to date on everything. What? No, NDAs are fine. What could go wrong? What is hidden in the final edit? Nothing. Hello, Jay. Hello. We need you to use the phrase "blasterlicious" at least 3 times in the final edit. The company asked that, I guess. There's no choice. You gotta do it. Torrent didn't jam, but Sender jammed a lot. Yeah, I have heard some people have that experience instead. I don't know. It's a shame. I think it's pretty clear that there were some decisions that were made for budget reasons that kind of ruined a bit of the potential with these guys. But it does seem like everyone's experience is a little bit different. And that's the biggest, like, concern. Because if it's not consistent, then that's the takeaway. It's just not reliable. It's like how, you know, when I complain about the Omnia not being super, super reliable, it's like, oh, someone had a perfect one. Another one had one that was dead on arrival. Another one had one that, like, wouldn't shoot straight to save its life. Like, okay, well, what's my takeaway? You don't know what you're going to get. Some people can enjoy or revel in the fact that they got one that works perfectly. It's not guaranteed. And especially because you're buying that, like, online, and a blaster like the even the Nerf Pro ones, you know, they're in box. You don't see it physically, like, outside of the box until you purchase it. So you really are just, like, paying money and rolling the dice. What Nerf gun should I get for Halloween? There's me. What are the constraints of that, though? What are you using it for? Are you going trick-or-treating, and if they're not giving you candy, you're just like, please? If that's the case, Nerf Jr. Also, don't do that. Strifex is the best Nerf Pro brand blaster. Yes. There's no real competition on that one, especially with it being on sale now. I know the price is probably still a little high for some, but apparently that's what it costs to get a good Nerf Pro blaster. It's very sad. I am also out of coffee, and now I am sad. Time to hydrate with Nerf water. No. More Nerf water is needed in my life. I never found Nerf water on store shelves, but someone local was able to find entire packs of it, like in the original box. So I'm gonna need to get that from him one day. That'll be funny. Did you guys know that gameplay footage is terrible and no one watches it? As I'm currently watching my own gameplay footage. This has been an interesting... I don't remember where this came up again recently, but an interesting point of conversation, just how people want to see more in the need or the interest to diversify Nerf videos, and so that they aren't just 100% oh, have you seen this review or whatever, oh, don't you know you can actually go to games and people record that and then you can watch it later. There's always been the problem of visibility on Nerf gameplay, and I've talked about this for years and years and years. It's just so, I know, for those in the chat, I watch, I appreciate that. I do, I genuinely do. I see you guys, I know. We always talk about the scope of how so many fewer people will watch gameplay footage, though, and it's sad. But it's is this a problem that can be solved? Because up to this point, it really doesn't feel like it. It feels like maybe there's an editing style that would make gameplay footage more attractive, but it also seems to come down to the fact that so many people don't know that these games exist or take place. So they don't know to search for it in the first place. So how are you going to be interested in something you don't know exists, right? There's so many times that I've had when gameplay gets seen by a new audience, the reaction is, what? This is a thing, and a lot of times then it'll be followed up by a oh, this is the thing, cringe. You'll have the typical stereotypical response from people who are too good for Nerf. As you know, most people are too good for Nerf. So it's very tricky to find the right audience, the right style, because there's so many ways that you can package gameplay footage, and I know a lot of people will just post their raw gameplay, and I'm not saying that has to be a bad thing, because I obviously have done that for years as well, and I've put that on my main channel before, I've put it on my second channel, and sometimes, yeah, it'll get traction, but again, the response will be what the heck is this? So I just have to wonder how else to present it in a positive way. But I have in the past obviously found some success with the I'd Run That in a War series, where my takeaway is you have to trick people into watching your gameplay footage. It's not a bad thing, it's just you trick people into then being ooh, oh, okay, I didn't know that was a kind of funny thing to do, because the focus is on the blaster itself and less about the oh, Nerf game. The Nerf game is second to the idea of oh, we're gonna now have this blaster showcased. Calm down, bud. Dog's playing door guard. Yes, people are allowed to walk outside, bud. Yes. Oof. 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 Always appreciate the loyal corgi at the door. I've got a conversation about it. You, me, Jang, and a few others. Yep. Anyone who's, I think, made gameplay can relate to it, or just recorded in the past. And there's so many people who record now. It's it's just a thing that people do. It's so easy. It's never been easier to have an action camera or just use your phone, something to record footage and post it. But and there's always going to be like some interesting stuff in there, but so many times it just never gets seen. And yeah, it's an interesting dance, that's for sure. Gameplay footage is tough because to get coherent, exciting gameplay, you basically would need so much more effort. And yeah, that is kind of the big takeaway. I would agree. Also, let me see if I can pull up another one. Another game. Another one. Do I save anything? Which one is this? Man, I was not prepared. What the heck? Let's see. What about just the main one? Yeah, you know what? We do a little Armageddon. Sure. Okay. Background video loaded. Gameplay footage is here. Therefore, it's relevant. I'm still working my 3 terabytes of footage from before COVID. AJY. Needs multiple camera angles and visible hit markers edited into the video. That's another one. Like the amount of editing that can go in to make it good. I've said this before, and I will say it again, that my favorite HVZ videos are from like TK1138, Dart Dragon, Naptown Nerf. They have like collaboration videos of their point of views with drone footage, and it's nicely edited so that not only are you seeing, their engagement, but you're also seeing like a map of where everything's taking place. You're hearing the objectives, right? You're hearing the story. Obviously, HVZ is typically very story-driven, or if you're playing that way, it can be. So there's like there's a reason to watch, and you're engaged with it. And while we don't often, like to include, say, like the Aaron Esser PDK Films style of Nerf videos, they typically have a much better or stronger story that might keep people watching. Obviously, it's edited and it's scripted in a way that is not real, but it is something easier to follow for the most part. And that's just a big challenge for people to do when it comes to real gameplay, because it doesn't always work out perfectly, right? Like there sometimes is just like a sharp end to like, oh, and I'm dead. And your zombie life takes a completely different turn. If you forget what happens, oops, I guess you're going to have to source what did actually end up happening during the rest of the match. But you have to really plan it out. You have to plan all your stuff. And from my like personal experience, I'll say it makes you think that like you have to have someone else to help out with that. Like doing all of this yourself, just like hitting record on your camera, pretty easy, right? Like you can get the good footage, and I've like, trained myself to play in a certain way that probably looks a little bit better than like just someone who's picking up a camera for the first time and wearing it for gameplay. Like I've thought about, what I'm saying, where I'm holding stuff. It's just something you learn and practice over time. I've been doing this, right, I've been recording gameplay footage for over 10 years. So that's one thing, but actually presenting it like a well put together video, that is hard to do just on your own, and it can at least benefit from having someone else play a part in it, or like keep track of things and notes, because you start to lose track of what is the actual game experience, and you kind of just lean into more of like getting the content side, if that's what you're only focusing on, right? Like if I go into an HVZ and I'm like, all right, we're going to record everything here, I'm probably not going to be thinking about the actual game itself, am I? I'm not going to get much good play out of it. And then there's people who are like, oh, I don't record anything, but I'm going to have the best time ever, and it's going to be a bunch of fun. And they'll get zero footage from that. So it's like balancing is very difficult. And I think it's even more difficult if you're trying to do it all on your own. Excelsior, I am good today. I am doing well. I am okay. How are you? Your footage is funny though. I try to make it funny. I definitely try to. Like I said, I've had a lot of time to not perfect. It will never be perfect. I've had a lot of time to get better at recording footage and at least like trying my best to make it interesting and entertaining. I think a lot of Airsoft players are worn out on the toxicity, and I find a lot of them are open to Nerf once they realize the performance that the hobby has reached. Yeah, it seemed like just from like our games at Modern as well, you know, the Airsoft folks who see like how far some of our foam dart blasters perform, they're like very impressed. Another weird balance. It's like I want more people to join because they're interested. So it's cool when they find something that's almost equivalent to Airsoft. But then I also want those people to know that it's not Airsoft. So like when people see, oh my god, your Diana is amazing, I'm like, well, that is cool. That is a part of it. But also, don't ruin this for everyone else. Like, we're not playing Airsoft sweaty or like paintball sweaty all the time. Like the casual, silly games with a stock blaster that fires 30 feet with an angle is important. Yes, CFT footage in 2024. In late 2024 still. You're not touching my Harrier. No touch. Appreciate the grammar check. Always. My grammar is goodness. Do you think they'll make a Nitro Shot Max Solo? Ooh, well, that could be interesting. I think it was a missed opportunity for the Solo to not launch with more colors. I think X-Shot also missed the opportunity to launch the X-Shot Longshot Pro without more skins. Like, wasn't that the whole point of the skins line? And now Dart Zone's obviously doing more colors too. So if they do, I think that's definitely something worth picking up if you don't like the regular blue. It's gonna be the exact same, right? I'd be shocked if companies didn't see the success or at least availability, like the scale and the potential appeal of, what was I say, Nitro Shots, micro shots, the Nerf micro shots, right? Like so many different variants or colors. It's like why not? It's literally just a different color. And people love to collect little things. So I think the Max Solo might as well release with more colors. I want to try and have the Airsoft and Nerf community have a little bit of a mix, kind of like how Australia does Gel Ball and Nerf. Do I want that, Valerie? Do I want that? Maybe. I think that's a funny idea for like a video. I think it's good for at least like understanding that this is fine. We're all using like just toy blasters. They're not real, firearms and whatnot. But I do think that's a little bit trickier. Like Gel Ball and Nerf, I think can make a little bit more sense. And still, there are certain gel blasters that would be probably not good to try and have like in a Nerf game, just because of like how hard they hit or like just what they're putting out. It's an interesting thought, though. It was like you're recreating the Nerf versus Airsoft. God, how old are those videos? Oh my gosh. I'm gonna check right now. I remember watching that when I was newer to the hobby. There's no way that's, I'm gonna say 5 years ago. Nerf versus Airsoft. Those original, the cursed video. 9 years ago? Holy crap. I'm old. Oh my lord. Oh no. That's pretty crazy. Well, I guess that means that it's bound to be recreated with modern offerings. Just as long as everyone's wearing like the proper eye protection. Safety is kind of is really the biggest one. Okay, true. Airsoft players do range from like milsims to like casual, so I can understand the difference in community. Yeah, I think it always comes down to the people. You know, there's some people are totally open. They get it. You know, it's toys. It's different. You know, and that's what I always try to preach as well. You know, when we talk about like, oh, I play Nerf, and then people be like, oh, why not Airsoft? Why not paintball? It's like, yeah. They're just different. I don't try to get like all high and mighty like well, didn't you know Nerf is actually a lot better than your silly Milsim-esque Airsoft and paintball. It's way more popular. It's growing faster than you could ever imagine, and our stuff is so much cooler than yours. You guys are missing out. Like, ew. Bad. When people try to be like all high and mighty and be like, Nerf is better, you lose. You have lost the game. You lost the game, and it just makes it worse for everyone because you're not starting off like in any position to be like Nerf is better. It's so different, and the sooner we can agree on that, the easier it'll be to tell people like, hey, you like Airsoft, you like paintball, you prefer those things, cool, that's fine. If you want to play Nerf as well, here it is, and here's what we're offering. And if you think that is not something you'd be interested in, okay, have a nice day. Like, if you want to watch our stuff or you want to participate, we will be here. If you want to switch up what you're playing at and you want to maybe invest a little bit less money into your loadouts, then this is an option. This is not going to make it so much better that you're going to quit your previous You're gonna quit your current hobby unless it really appeals to you. But like, I get it. I get that for some people that's how they see it. Like when people talk about how like, oh, Nerf is better. Like these Nerf kids are really something. It's like that's what they're thinking of. It's the people who are trying to go out of their way to be like, actually Nerf is so much better. They're like, okay, so there's this 8-year-old who's trying to tell me that Nerf is better than Airsoft or paintball, and they literally can't even play that one. All right, sure. Wait, you don't do that? I always say that exact same thing, especially to toddlers who just picked up a Maverick at the thrift store. I mean, a toddler at the thrift store? Yeah, you gotta tell them what's up. They need to be reminded. Oh, look, Nerf Crocs. They're back. Spider's massive feet. Maybe I should have cut that. Not everything I record needs to go into the video. Do my eyes deceive me? Is it Brett's birthday? Yes, Mr. Bots and Blasters. It is. We are within the 24-hour mark, so sure. Mondays suck, so let's just say it is. She's in the title, so. Yes, and for my birthday, I will accept. I think we talked about this earlier. $400 donations so that I can take someone's scope off of their hands because they don't know what to do with it. So. Poor Danny has to get it off his hands. That's it. Airsoft expensive, yes. Airsoft is just typically more expensive. And that is one way that people can easily lose interest. Or like they get burned out pretty quickly because it's not just a one-time purchase. A lot of these things are not just one-time purchases. Like Airsoft, especially paintball, like getting more paint and all that stuff. You have to keep investing. And with Nerf, I guess if it's really just about like you can spend a lot of money in Nerf, especially nowadays. You can keep spending money in Nerf, but typically it's a little bit cheaper. Typically, and also if you do a good enough dart sweep, you can get away with community ammo. Hey Beret, happy birthday. I've been watching you since May 3rd, 2023. Very specific. I know this because I checked when I started watching you on Google YouTube settings. Anyways, keep up the good work. Thank you, Hector Garcia. I do appreciate that. It has been... Wow. Yeah, that is very recent. JMC, happy birthday, $2. Why, thank you. Thank you so much for the super chat. There we go. We're going, that is going towards the, towards the Siren Mauler campaign. $40, just like that. Let's go. So you can get my honest thoughts on the Siren Blasters. So I can once again be loved by Siren, who I have yet to actually talk to other than their marketing agency. Sad. Man, sorry, I'm still caught up on the May 3rd, 2023. It's so funny. I've talked to people who I'm like kind of putting them into different categories of like, you know, there's the pre-COVID Nerf players, and there's the ones who found it during COVID, but now I'm finding more people who are like just recently finding it. So it's like the boom that was the COVID Nerf like discovery, right? When people started finding it because maybe they were bored, they were inside, they just like rediscovered that Nerf was going crazy. They now get yourself Jake's YouTube zone. Get yourself a Boba Tea birthday point. How did you know that I might actually do that later today? I'm gonna take my dog to the mall. We'll probably go get some. I thank you. I appreciate that. $4.99 again. Siren Mauler fun. Let's go. I'll have one in no time. I appreciate it, guys. Thank you very much. So yeah, sorry, I'm behind on chat, but the folks who are finding Nerf like in the past couple of years, I feel like they're getting more exposure to Nerf because of the people who got in during the like COVID Nerf rediscovery. So it's very interesting to watch like what people are being exposed to for the first time in terms of blasters, content creators, events, right? Because some things started off like real early on and are no more as far as like events go. Some started up after COVID, some took a long break and are starting up again. It's very interesting to me. Like, as someone who's been playing for so long, watching it over the years is just like really interesting. I don't know if it's worth like documenting in any degree, but for me, like personally, it's good though. It is a positive thing. I definitely admit that. I tried to explain hobbyist nerfing to Rob Lowe on national TV. He was visibly disgusted and it didn't make the cut. Well, isn't Rob Lowe the Dirty Jobs guy? So he's just used to disgusting things, and our hobby is pretty gross. And that's the thing, you know, that's an interesting point. I have always been a little, not touchy, but I'm very aware of like certain audiences will hate our stuff, and that's just not going to change, right? Like you can find someone on the street interview, have your hawk to a moment, and you can describe our hobby in the best possible light possible, and you will still find someone who's like, okay, you're how old, and also what is, and you're not going to convince them, you're not going to win them over. And that's always going to be the case, just scaled up on YouTube. If you have something that gets like more traction than your usual audience, there will be people who just don't vibe with it. And that's sometimes just the cost of growing a channel or just growing the hobby, right? To get more eyes on our stuff, you just slowly cast a wider and wider net. It's not going to sit well with everyone, but some people are going to be like, oh my gosh, I had no idea this existed, and they're going to dig a little bit deeper. But I'm always so like touchy on it. Like I like stuff to get extra attention, but I really do hate when I find that audience that just is not interested at all. I want the people who are like kind of curious, but I hate when it goes to people who are just like, this is the worst thing I've ever seen, and they just approach it with like the most negative comments ever. I haven't had that too much recently, but man, when a couple years ago, I think, when I had some like videos pop off, they're just like, oh, it's the worst feeling. I know you gotta have a thick enough skin to like put stuff out there. That's just what you gotta be prepared to do. But it's still not a good feeling. I don't like it. Oh, I can heart these. I'm gonna heart those. Thank you. Sorry, dying. Maybe I won't make it to my birthday. Gotta get it right from a young age. This is a joke. Hey, there are some people who, yeah, they play Nerf when they're young, and then they just keep playing as they get older because they keep finding it interesting. That's kind of like me. I found Nerf when I was in middle school, and it just kept being interesting enough that I kept coming back. It evolved, right? It changed a lot. It's Chris. Yeah, yes, it is, Mr. Cartaya. I was very thankful that he was willing to be a ref that day. It happened to me. I saw the prices of Airsoft and just said, yeah, no thanks. Then I reconnected with my long-lost love, Nerf and Coop. So Nerf and Coop. Does he know? Have you told him? Have you told him how you really feel? Has he responded? Did he leave you on red? Boba is a classic zillennial. I deserve this treat. Yes. I did not like it so much when I was introduced to it in high school, but here we are. Now I'm a solid Boba enthusiast. Siren confetti darts, not good. Yeah, the Siren darts. The original ones, they look cool. Probably the coolest looking darts out there. Not my favorite performers, but looks or something. Brave, if you need access to a mauler, I can send you mine to take a look at. Oh, I appreciate that. My thing was like I was going to finally just like buy it myself because I also was in a potential situation where they could have sent it to me, but we just never got to that point. So if I'm gonna get a mauler, I'll probably just buy it myself to have the whole user experience, and then we'll see what I think about it at that point. I have at least for the mauler so far, I've seen someone else's, like, and I've held it, but I haven't really, like, played with it so much. I know that the accuracy leaves a little bit to be desired in its stock configuration, at least with the included darts. With the other ones, maybe a little bit better. But the guy who did use it at the event I went to was trying to use it at, like, the lowest setting for one of our rounds, just because the FPS cap, I think, it was safest at that one versus like the second, and he seemed to be having some consistency issues. So point was I didn't put too much like effort into checking any like FPS or performance myself. I kind of held it and I was like, what's going on with my hand? Like what is this grip? What's going on here? But that's not enough to be like, oh, good or bad blaster. Like that's just a piece of it. So, I appreciate the offer, though. They have no clue. They have never nerfed or been a fan of Nerf. And, yeah, like I said, that's just how it's going to be for some people. There are plenty of people who are going to know this exists, and they're never going to play, and that's totally fine. It's all about finding the people who actually want to get involved, showing them what they can do in this hobby is good. And if other people are like, I have no interest in this, I will never have interest in this, and I hate everything you stand for, then you're like, understandable, have a nice day. Like, that's fine. That's totally fine. We're not going to try and strong-arm you into getting into this hobby if you are kicking and screaming the entire time. It's all good. If people want to find it organically in the future, then we'll be here. Like, you're allowed to have someone reject you in the first day, and then when they show interest years later, you'd be like, okay, yeah, sure. Let me show you how things have changed since that time. Because, yeah, you give it a year, and holy crap, things change real fast around here, apparently. I don't know if things are that crazy as far as, like, blaster evolution and, like, airsoft or paintball, but, yeah. Show a modern-day Nerf game to someone who's been out of it since, like, 2016, 2017, and they'll probably have their mind blown. It really is about play versus competition. Yep. That's what I did. I'm 55 and still collect. Yay! Long-term collector. Scarabee car for the mauler. Isn't it like you have to actually change out the barrel, put like a collet on so that you can actually put a Scarabee car on it too? Like there isn't actually room for it. That's one thing that kind of makes me chuckle a little bit about Siren. they advertised themselves as like having all this knowledge and experience from people who are enthusiasts, right? Like so that they could get their first blasters like the best out there. But like Dart Zone proved that over a couple years of evolution, they did have some like really good ideas that just took some time, like having their sort of universal-ish barrels and adapters in the front so that you could put on like, you know, they're now easily accessible B-cars or P-cars that are cross-compatible with like workers stuff. So it's like, it's great, you know, even if the blaster itself isn't like perfect, there's like, they've created this ecosystem that just like works really, really well with that. So I'm surprised that Siren didn't see, if they said they've been working on it for so long, that they didn't see like what maybe Dart Zone was doing in terms of like refining ways to make their blasters accurate and just take that idea as well, unless there's like some patent that I'm not aware of. That kid running always cracks me up. They went into production just before DZ, B-Car, and Scar Bundle was released, so it made Siren look like gosh darn fools. Yeah, I would believe that. That would make sense timeline-wise. But they still had, like, I mean, the Nexus Pro had it. Like, at least the room for it. It didn't have, like, the actual kit out just yet. So, like I said, just when they want to tout themselves as, like, people who have played this for years and years, they know what they're talking about, and then they kind of do. You're like, okay. Already kits out for the Mauler. Seems easy to change the barrel. Yeah, I think I've seen a couple of those. If Nerf is like yo-yos, we need clips. Japanese teenagers going beast mode to techno music holding a slab to invigorate the hobby. That would appeal to someone, some audience, I guess. There's got to be like a regulation about exposed barrels, but yeah, surprising they didn't make a Dart Zone style B-car. Well, like I'm saying, again, like the Nexus Pro, you know, where the barrel is not exposed. It's like there's room for you to put something on in the front. And if you don't have it on, then the barrel's still hidden inside. It's recessed. There's just that little like space for the stock Nexus adapter, which can fire, say, like Mega or Rival, whether that was a design choice or not. That is just like a flash hider, a fake flash hider, that is, all intents and purposes, safe enough because it's plastic. I came back to Nerf during COVID when I watched some old PDK Films videos, and I decided to buy my first Nerf blaster with my own money. So, you know, that's interesting too, because I would assume that because of visibility, for the sake of visibility's sake, people like, or channels like PDK Films, Aaron Esser, probably get a lot of people interested or aware of Nerf. Again, that's a huge net, widest net possible that is cast, and some of the people who therefore will get interested in that, you know, Nerf stuff don't go to games, right? They're probably on the younger side too, but still, because of that awareness, I'm sure some people, case in point, become aware of like more offerings or like modern offerings, crazy, you know, stock loadouts have gone a long way, and they see them on channels like Aaron Esser, PDK Films, and they're like, oh my gosh, like what is going on in like that silly old Nerf world? And then you get the people who immediately are like, it's not just Nerf anymore. And then they're like, okay, fine, I'm gonna walk away. I have an interest in talking with those gentlemen in the near future. If you saw, I did an interview with Connor McGaffey of Detroit Dart Club. I am looking to expand into some more potential interviews, and I have a few on the list for the future. So if you guys like that stuff, stay tuned, because I'm trying to do some more one-on-one interviews with folks who are not the typical interviewees of like the greater Nerf scene, but at least have for me, I think there's an interest in picking their brains a little bit about like what they do or what they kind of have learned through this hobby. So stay tuned. As someone who posts very reasonable length videos, get excited for more long interviews. Woo! Let's go. They only take a while to edit. Stay hydrated. Drink Nerf water if you got it. Oh, I still have one. I can't drink Nerf water right now, though. That's my special Nerf water. It's reserves. When all the water dries up, there will still be Nerf water. Armageddon was definitely fun this year. I'm glad it worked out and it wasn't as hot as the previous year. Just like Ragnar Oktoberfest was not as hot this year. Oh, I wonder if I have not put together any footage from Rag, unfortunately, but maybe I should do that in the near future. I don't think any of my raw footage is reviewed yet, so it might just be a mess. At least this is somewhat organized. I've also, as you have probably noticed, I've enjoyed doing some more event spotlight videos as a good way to, as mentioned before, trick people into watching some gameplay footage, but also just kind of show off like what our events look like. I think if people find these videos for the first time, they can really get a good sense of like the whole scale, the whole scope of what a like community event is. Right, like you see the gameplay, you see the shenanigans on the side, you see a little bit of the commentary from myself as an attendee, and therefore someone would be at least aware of like what to expect if they were to go to one in the future. I hope that that's what they're serving. Maybe not. Nerf water, every drop filtered through dart foam. It's not a bad idea. What if they did that? What if they did that? Is it a used dart? Like they just pull the head off of like an elite dart and they just filter it through? Oh, and we're back. What if we do boring video? Oh, you know what? We're just gonna go through what I got sitting by. Hey, yo, what the? There we go. How's the new Unicorn Blaster? Mantic, the Unicorn Blaster is great. Thank you very much. I think I just recorded a short on it for tomorrow, so I can show that off. Not that there's much to show off in a short, but maybe if I review our recent game a little bit more, I can find footage of it being used in game. I don't remember if I got any actual tags with it, but the future is bright with the Unicorn Blaster. I see much potential with that one, so thank you again. Hey, Canada, that Nerf water is the squeegee drippings from Murph. It could be. There's no proof. No proof. Have you tried abandoning everything you care about and make dozens of TikToks in your hallway of overly flashy reloads of a Lynx? Oh man, why does that sound very, very specific? I have thoughts about reload videos. Specifically, I guess they are reload shorts, but man, those things are so annoying. Like the we shouldn't put others down for like their content creation strategies, but God, there's just no creativity in those goddamn videos. Like, it's so frustrating. I don't remember what the guy's name was, but someone who like, yeah, just popularized doing like those reload. Like, okay, I've seen the silly reload videos where it's like a vacuum cleaner reload, like a first person shooter. That's funny. That's fine. I have no problem with that. That's amusing and entertaining. The people who just do like the Nerf reloads, so lazy, so bad. Like, come on, guys. And they only do it, yeah, just to get like subscribers and views. There's no substance behind them. Maybe for someone, they've never seen the Nerf Recon being reloaded. Back, magazine, in, forward, fire. Whoa, holy shit. But it's, yeah, it literally just appeals to kids, I'm pretty sure. Because it's bottom of the barrel, like zero creativity, zero creation. So, not a big fan of those, but who am I to judge? I'm just salty because, one, yes, it's true, my videos don't get as many views as that. But two, when you put at least like the smallest amount of effort compared to them, you're like, what the frick is going on here? Like, just at least it's replicable. You can just do it all the time and people know what to expect. I get why, but the last Modern was my favorite Nerf event from the last few months. That's good. I think we got a little bit rushed as far as time goes, but I did have a good time. I like the layout too. I think it was a little bit better than this one. I'm gonna say that this layout was kind of rough. I should compare and contrast our previous Modern Airsoft layouts. I think you're putting them down. They just aren't your cup of tea. Yeah, that's true. Again, I'm allowed to talk about things that I'm not a fan of without it being just like a roasting or a like hate-filled like attack. At least I'd like to believe that. I'm sure some people would disagree. This loading stuff sounds complicated. more complicated than you think. It's a child in front of like their parents' door, like front door, just loading stuff. It's amazing. I think it's millions of views. I have a wild idea that is strange but cool. I want to make a championship belt that is Nerf theme. It's a wild idea I've been thinking about for 2 months now. What is stopping you from doing it, though? Nothing. We've had Nerf thrones made out of blasters. We've had Murphs made out of Nerf darts. Was a 10% loss of darts after cleaning. Oh, at a place like this, probably a good chunk of darts that will never find their way home. And yet we've had like magazines disappear and then get found again at the next event, which is pretty funny. So they come back. I like reload videos, but they gotta be like a bit flashy or impressive, kind of like reloads from video games like COD. Yeah, there's gotta be like just some effort put into it. And again, just because I make videos, I see through the like facade. I see through the like, oh, I'm just doing this for the fun. No, you're doing it. Some of these people, they're just doing it to try to like game the system, and they're trying to like put as little effort in as possible, but also like maximize the return. And I hate saying that out loud, but again, it's like I can see it. But who am I to judge someone who is, half my age, trying to make it big on YouTube or TikTok and make some money? Not doing anything offensive. Good to put your name on magazines then. Oh yeah, I put my name on my magazines. Like every mag, I have a label maker that I'll do that with, and I typically put some stickers like on the bases of a few to also just make it very, very clear. You don't need to mark your darts though nowadays. I don't know who needs to hear this, but you don't need to put your name or even like little Sharpie marks on your darts for events. We do have a lot of darts that you can replace your old ones with. It's never that serious that you need to recover your exact darts. Again, I don't know who needs to hear that, but you don't need to do it. All right? Plus, like putting silver Sharpie or black Sharpie on a dart head is gonna get gross real fast. Don't do it. A lot has changed. I wrote my name on darts that I first got with my like Nerf Hornet and Scout back in like 07, 08. Don't need to do that anymore. It's okay. You can get more. Although now those are like, hard to find suction cup darts, so. I think Lunk had a Nerf championship belt graphic for their recent. Oh yeah, they did. On brand. No one wants your darts. I was just sorting through our club community bin, at least the one that I hold on to, and man, some of those darts I literally just threw out because they were so, like, the heads were so gross, and you're like, oh, nope. Nope. Not keeping that one. That's gross at this point. Like the dart itself is in almost like perfect condition, but the amount of like gunk on it because someone decided to like draw unique designs on every dart. Ray, do you listen to Tyler the Creator? I don't. I thought I saw a few videos from him recently though, like some new music videos, so I would assume that that's why you're asking. New music release. With Mega XL, there is enough space to mark. Okay, so scaling up. I can see an argument being made maybe for like Mega XL. I do have my original like Nerf rockets marked. Yeah, I have my name like very small print on those in the corner. Again, I don't know if we need to do that, but nowadays they're kind of hard to find, so I can't undo the Sharpie is my point. But it is like, yeah, just massive rocket. What else do I have? Almost 10:30. All right, we can go a little bit lower. What else I got? Oh. You know what? Screw it. We got Nerf House in the background. When's the next Nerf House? Hey yo, what the? Oh, that's what happened. I'm dumb. I'm a big dum-dum. I don't know how to do anything. Formatting during the video is wild. Or not. Or not. We'll do it live.
Now that it's been nearly 4 years since its debut, it's time to talk about Nerf House again. Nerf House is a fascinating series.
There we go. There we go, Brett. You got this. You're a professional. No, you're not. You're a piece of trash. Okay, now it fits. Background stuff. Thanks for stopping by, Bots and Blasters. Appreciate it. Have a happy birthday, Beret. Nerf House. Yes. Never forget the Nerf House. There is still one more, at least one more Nerf House thing I gotta talk about. One day. Nickelodeon level animation. Hey, that's insulting for Nickelodeon. Beret, how was Ragnarok? Rag was fun. Rag was a good time. I did not get to attend every event at Rag, but the ones I did were good. The convention was fun. I got to ruin a podcast, which was also very fun. Well, some people, they're not going to say I ruined it, but I know what I did. And the Stalking Dead was a blast as well. Romantic. I believe you use a GoPro and a DSLR. What scenarios do you use one over the other? Well, ain't that the question? So I've sort of pivoted from trying to bring my camera to events, just because like why travel when I have so many different ways to record stuff? So camera is kind of like it's also better just for stationary. It's not an action camera. It's not good, you know. A lot of movement, high frame rates. So I use that for, you know, recording here behind me, these kinds of, like what you're seeing right now on screen. But beyond that, I've got a good array of recording devices now for traveling, you know, be it local events or afar, right? I should probably show this off in a video at one point, just to really bring everything out and like remind myself what I've got. But I've got the Insta360 Go 2 and the Go 3, so I use those in a variety of ways for, you know, capturing footage on head. I can use the Go 3 as well pretty nicely for vlogging at this point because it's got the little, you know, flip up in the back that turns into a preview, so you can actually see yourself in the preview. I've got GoPro Hero 7 and 9. Thank you, Mr. Luke of Out of Darts, for the 9. So I've got plenty of action cameras in addition to the Insta360s for recording gameplay footage, but I've taken a liking to having those as like stationary as well, if given the opportunity. I've got the Hero 5S, that's the one, which is the little square, the little cube. I am considering putting that back on as like a blaster cam for myself, or looking down sights, because it's definitely not as high tech as modern offerings, but when it's not moving too much, it's okay. So I've got quite a few options to play with, and I, as someone who does not do too much in terms of quality, I think it's enough. I think there's a good enough array of options there that can make a presentable video. It just so happens that if it's a event video, it's going to involve action camera like options, and if it's a video like behind me, you know, a sit and talk commentary kind of thing, it's gonna probably be with like the little Canon. I don't want to bring that one to a bunch of events if I don't have to. It's also, you know, it's the biggest, it's the bulkiest, and I have, like I said, just so many other options that work totally fine. What I try to do is I avoid using my phone for capturing stuff unless it's like just something that's going to be a lot easier to, you know, snap a picture of, or a quick video and share that to like, you know, social media like Instagram or YouTube. But I do like to keep my phone separate from all that. Like I'd like to record all of my footage or video work on one of those devices and then have that be what goes into making a video. Obviously, there's some things that a phone is just good at, and maybe I'm just coping with the fact that my phone is a few generations past what's modern, and my battery is slowly dying. So maybe if I get a new phone, we'll change that, but I like to have them separate. Nerf House Revival when? I don't know, man. Hasbro's it was up to Hasbro. Will you be picking up the Carrera Nerf RC car when it releases? I would probably check that out just out of curiosity's sake. I'm sure we could have some goofy fun with it. How? Ants, get out of my house! Where are these ants coming from? My god, I guess what I'm going to be doing today is just setting up ant traps. Ugh. They didn't send him greatest blaster of all time, the Warden. Nerf didn't send me anything from any of that stuff. I can count on one hand the number of things that Nerf has sent me. They've sent me the Gelfire Mythic, and they sent me the Nerf Pro Strife X. And then technically they sent me a check for my winnings on the Gelfire challenge, but I earned that one, so 2. Greatest Nerf Pro offerings of all time. I would be interested in a video about that, either on your workflow or even just a review on recording options for people looking to record their gameplay. Yeah, if I can get it a good swing of things. I swear I'm still workshopping stuff. Like, just recently, I was told to try and record more like stable gameplay footage, so I'm in the process of maybe trying out some more like blaster camera mounted stuff to see if that can be a little bit more, dare I say, watchable, or at least a little less hard on the eyes compared to like shaky cam. But also the footage we get, say like from modern Airsoft, which is close quarters, tight, compact, quick movement, dark, is very different than like being outdoors and like, you know, trying to shoot at people who are super far away. I think you have a pretty good amount of like visibility with an action camera there. So it really just seems to depend. I've only really been sent one thing by a company, the Mark III from Foamsgiving last year. Well, okay, I've been sent more stuff too, but it's like Hasbro. That's all I've gotten from them. Dart Zone sent me a Mark III a while back in the preparation for the Dart Zone Pro Tour. Thanks, Dart Zone. And then they sent me the Mark 1.2 and the Mark 2.1, and Well, they haven't sent me anything since. I can't imagine why. I love Dart Zone, and they love me.
This time, play fires back. Once. We're getting somewhere. Sky Brown's animated adventure. Wait, aren't they all
That's okay.
animated adventures?
I'm still thankful.
Skateboarding to surfing. Sky
Don't misconstrue that as me being greedy. I'm thankful for what I've been sent, but I also don't need them to send all the stuff. I can also buy it myself if I really need to. I love the Mark III, the X-Shot one. Oh, you got me.
Though I do question the decision to give her two spring
I'm a Dart Zone simp personally. That's a crazy thing to admit. Be careful with your brand loyalties. That's all I will say. Dart Zone salty AF. I mean, it depends on who you talk to, I would assume.
Not my words. Wait a second.
If I've learned anything, especially in like the past few years,
After one shot.
it's like, man, I can be a fan. You know, I'm a fan of all these companies. I want them to succeed. I want them to put out good stuff that I can use. Even if they put out bad stuff, I can use that too sometimes. But the like the blind brand loyalty, we don't have to do it. We don't have to fall for it like we used to. You know, people are love to be like Hasbro bad, has bad, but also Nerf's allowed to do good stuff. You know, you should compliment them when they do good stuff, and you should question when they do questionable stuff. But it's the same for Dart Zone. The people who have like blind brand loyalty with like, oh, another that wasn't a great Dart Zone blaster, but they're still better than Hasbro. Am I right, guys? Hasbro bad. And you're like, oh dear God, like that's what they love. I mean, it's probably a company's dream for them to, you know, become so well received in your mind that when they make, you know, mistakes or they start dropping their quality, that you, in the back of aside from everything, you're like, oh well, but at least they're still better than this other company. Like, nope, don't be complacent. You're allowed to call out bad stuff when you see it. You got a Busby Twist Fury? I don't. I do not have a Busby Twist Fury. I don't know if I'm gonna get one. I don't really need one. I'm glad they exist. Just I don't need one right now. Twist Fury Supremacy. Maybe. Bubs. Oh, broken brain. No, that's a Bubsy. Bubsy, the Bobcat. Poor Busby. What are you guys doing? Yeah, I love. I want Busby to succeed as well. I just I have questions for them too. They what was the last thing they sent me? Oh man, what was it? Alpha Auto 20 or 76? That was a thing, right? Yeah. They sent me the Pixelator too. Woo! Glad to see a Twist Fury in existence over like the Pixelator. So hopefully a bright future for Busby on that front, with working with more enthusiasts and you know, fans. The problem with Dart Zone is that they don't sell blasters in Europe. Yeah, that is that's certainly a challenge. I've seen some people be like, oh my God, like, what is wrong with Dart Zone? Like, why are they neglecting all these international potential buyers? And it's like, I think they would try to sell them to you if they could, but sometimes it's just a matter of like scale and restrictions. I mean, that was again a whole point of like Nerf N series, to make sure that Nerf could get their products into, you know, global markets where some of their stuff may have been getting stopped recently. I'm sure Dart Zone is getting like that, like, no, you can't bring that into our country messaging in plenty of like spots. So and also remember that Dart Zone is just way smaller. So that's pretty funny when people complain like, how dare Dart Zone neglect their, you know, international market. They would if they could. I'm sure they're trying. Happy birthday, Beret. Thank you, Mia. I appreciate it. Important restrictions. Import restrictions and important restrictions. True. I will say, if we're talking brands, Nerf doesn't feel like they listen to the community and consumers like Dart Zone. Dart Zone isn't perfect, but they do things that we love but won't affect consumers. Yeah, I mean, of course, like, no one's saying that is not the case. Nerf, it really does feel, though, like Nerf has so much red tape because of, like, you know, Hasbro, that, like, I think we've kind of been told this, and we know from people who have gone to work there, is like, we know there are so many people who work at Nerf that have, like, played in the hobby before, and they want to make good stuff, and we can just see where they keep getting, like, strong-armed and not being able to do it. So I guess, like, every company, you know, that's the cope. Every company probably has that problem. You know, the designers have a dream, the engineers have a dream, and corporate says, get that out of here. So it just seems like with the whole, everything we see in the news about Hasbro is always about, like, well, they failed their, like, you know, their earnings, like, their earnings call wasn't good. They failed to meet their expectations. Let's get these people out of here. Another round of layoffs. Here we come. It seems like it's really hard for them to get a win nowadays. Just like as the company's getting bigger and bigger, so many more restrictions, so many, like, yeah, just so much more red tape that almost impossible for them to focus on those little details. Whereas Dart Zone being smaller, it's probably a little easier for them to focus on that stuff. So yeah, it's hopefully it's a good thing for Dart Zone, and they have been making us plenty of good blasters. That is the case. Is Game Face working on new stuff? Oh no, I'm not sure if you're asking that out of jest or if you know. Do you know about Game Face? Hasbro, I'm willing to bet, will be on the deathbed within 20 years. I mean, 20 years is a long ways from now. We don't know anything that will be the case in 20 years. In fact, I always forget Hasbro being business daddy. And yeah, and that's, it's not trying to excuse, you know, what the end result is either. It's just like, it's putting better visibility to what probably is like a pretty terrible situation. Light dead. Cool. Love that. I swear the entirety of our Nerf is just Hasbro bad, Dart Zone good. Yeah, Reddit's kind of a mess with that. Reddit's a mess for a couple reasons. I hope they can fix some of that stuff. But I don't know until they get rid of certain people. It ain't gonna happen. I've tried to post stuff on Reddit before, in like the R-Nerf subreddit, and it's gotten removed because they don't like me, I guess. Very sad. Or it went against their rules. Ban Taruk. No, I generally don't know what's up with Game Face. Deb, Game Face drama. Oh no, I love the try-on. You guys know that, like, Game Face is basically dead? Game Face gone? Like, we ain't getting more stuff from Game Face. They had the try-on. They almost had the G-on. And, well, yep, that's it. It's nice knowing them. I'm the wrong person to present all the story there, but it might be an interesting talk from a former employee. If can he share that? I don't know. Maybe not. Maybe in the future that would be an interesting topic, and see like what really, like, some of the details of how all that fell apart. God knows how many new blaster companies will be around in 20 years. Hey, maybe in 20 years, Siren will be the big players. Who knows? You should talk about the new Buzzbee gimmicks like the Spin Blasters and the Easy Blasters. I could.
45 seconds of each
World's
example.
smallest violin
That's quite
plays.
up to date.
Yeah,
Genuine
it's sad because there definitely were,
ads,
of
the
course,
behind the scenes.
talented
I know
people
I'm
doing
asking a
stuff.
lot
We had a
because
lot of
a lot
insight
you probably
from
didn't even know
a
about
Mr.
Nerf in the
Game
first place. I see
Game
Nerf
Face
as a
employee,
cool act
Blaster
for their
Face,
time
who
and
shared a lot of
space,
details, but
I have no idea
that's
what
also
these
how we kind of
broadcast
found out that
segments
things
are
were
used for.
really on the
If they never
downhill,
post
and
to
then,
YouTube or simply
yeah, the
share it on Nerf
acquisitions
at
and
all,
then the
don't
cut.
bump into them.
Bye-bye.
Editing is done.
It's
What
unfortunate,
was the point?
but
Right,
that is
sorry,
the business
back up a
world.
little bit. Post-production, alchemy,
I will then
execution.
treasure my Tryon and buy a second one. I bet you can find them for a reasonable price if you look in the right spot.
Yeah, there's a 100%
I don't think they're gonna
chance
get
you'll
more
see something
expensive.
they've worked on, and if you go to their
Maybe,
brand
maybe not.
content section,
When we
you
find
will
out,
find Nerf House, and boom,
just buy a
they're
Tryon.
all
Just
by
buy
and
a blaster from a dead
reward
company.
you on
Oof.
their Instagram, and also boom. Remember our campaign for Nerf House?
I will then treasure my Tryon and buy a second one.
Storyboards to final animation. Art by Ed
Oh,
Catino,
well, my
creative
smallest,
direction by Rupert Cresswell for Nerf.
world's
Rupert
smallest
Cresswell's
blasters are over there.
portfolio does indeed
Smallest,
have
smallest foam
outstanding
blaster.
render animation. At the bottom looks like
Beret, do you
it's
still
got
play
some
foam
layers.
FPS?
So shout out to
It
you
has been a
for
hot
that.
minute since I played
Despite my
foam
needs,
FPS.
I'd like
The
to
Roblox times were
you
a
if you
pandemic
enjoy
special.
their work. But also wanna give a big
I would
shout out
say.
to Ed
Excuse
Tricino
me.
and David
I
Hill
guess I'm
for both
tired.
of the
The
storyboard
last time I logged into
Preparing
Roblox was
storyboards
probably in
for the final
2021.
product is
So it's been
very
a few years.
Why did this change? Why did that
I don't know if I have any
more
interest in
branding here, and looking at these frames
doing any
helps
of that right
confirm
now.
actual creativity went into this project. Regardless of how corporate or hollow the script might feel,
We need a mainstream blaster company that makes 300 FPS AEBs. Is that too much to ask? might be.
So I'm not sure who did
Hey, buddy.
three. Those
Mr.
might have been
Luca.
David's work, but I couldn't find any publicly
You still over
shared
there?
storyboards on his website or social media. But this exchange on Ed's Instagram
What that dog doing?
confirms he did something. Anyway, thank
Will you
for
be getting the
watching.
Wave 2 of the world's smallest blasters? I will probably seek them out at some point. They seem like reasonable things to invest in and show off on the channel. Follow up to my original stuff. I could run those in a war too, who knows?
And now we get to the
The original ones were like, what, 10 bucks each or something? If they're the same price, yeah, I don't see why not. But I have not seen those released yet, so we will wait.
Season 1 does a better job of establishing the name Nerf House, in that there is Nerf and there is House. Season 2 has very
Also, I have to decide if I
little of all the characters in one house, except
if I do the same thing as I did with the previous ones, because I've got the 3 behind me in package still, and then I've got
plus a 2D one.
3 out of package, so I could actually use them and test them out.
More locations thanks to the
I don't know if I want to get
sometimes those worlds are interesting.
6 again. It's just a lot. A whole backdrop of just like the world's smallest blasters just on the wall. A full collection.
Disconnected, like you could make an argument that the scenes are
I guess that's there are worse things to hoard.
proof at this point that that isn't
Hoarding video when
point still stands. For the people, season 1 has Julian Edelman, but season 2 has Julian Edelman.
10:50. Give about like 5-10 more minutes. You got some final questions. Pop them in the chat here, as this video's wrapping up as well.
While in season 2, I think he's going a little
Approaching that 2-hour mark. It's not a bad amount of time. The sun has officially come out, so I can go out and try to warm myself in these frigid times. These very cold 55-degree mornings. Ugh, just the worst.
Maybe, but by not being physically together in the same location, you really have to
I should message Guy Fieri and ask if I
friends and going on
can get him to sign an Ultra 3 blaster.
when the season 2
Then I would send it to Maritime Foam.
2020, and I'm going to say it again. Sky Brown is a child.
I've always wondered if like I reached out to any of the people who were in
But she was
like the Nerf House
participated in
world, like if they would agree to talk about some of the experience. Fun fact, I have already done that with some of the folks from Nerf House Showdown, which of course I don't have an actual like full review of yet. That is the outstanding Nerf House video to do, but I had potentially looked into doing some videos on those.
here makes no sense. Whose
And who knows, maybe I'll still do those in the near future. Just depends on if they respond. You get cold mornings. Yeah. Yeah, we get a little bit of fog down here too. I'm just curious, do you listen to dubstep? Yes. I am a certified electronic music enthusiast. I will admit that dubstep is typically best when working out. Though I will listen to some stuff on the side as well. It has to be on my own time though. My fiance doesn't really care for that, which is fine. Nerf House collab / interview, that would be so fun. I know, that's what I'm saying. And even if it got 5 people watching, it would mean a lot to me. And that's been an important thing for me to learn going forward, through where I am on my channel now. It's I want to seek out and do things that I enjoy, not just because, new blaster must talk about it, but just I have to find stuff that is significant to me. And even if that doesn't appeal to a huge audience, if I don't do something that I enjoy, I will burn myself out. And we already know that is very possible. Beret, would you make your own Nerf house? We have joked about that for many years. If a situation presented itself for some funny videos, then that would be a possibility. We are not living in a full house, though. You're more famous than the Nerf house people. I'm gonna have to disagree with you on that. There's proof that is just not true. Maybe for the immediate people who are watching this stream, but beyond that, no. Last week I got a big rig for $10. Big rigs. I had no idea you listened to electronic. All the electronic music. All the electronic. My music palette is quite diverse. Have a good one, Beret. Happy birthday. Thank you, General Strife. Thanks for tuning in. Yeah, man, there's so much stuff on the horizon. I want to make so many different videos, but they're all fighting for priority's sake. I want to do my other Nerf house video, but there are other things I should probably get to first. Right? There's some things that rely on recent events to do, and then there are relatively new-ish releases that if I want to talk about them, now's the time. Other commentary stuff. Like I said, everything fights for attention, but there's always something else to look into. Soon. One day. Yeah, I had that issue as well. I used to make videos, but I just never felt like I enjoyed what I talked about. It was more thing bad, make fun. I'm glad you were making that stand. But it's always it's difficult, right? Because you want I've said it here before too. I want to grow the channel. The goal is to get to that 100K mark because you get the plaque from YouTube, right? It's a good goal to have, content creator goal. That's good. You should have something to work towards. But it's a slow process, and some channels get there really quickly, and others are going to go their entire existence without scratching even the surface of 1,000 views, and that does not speak to the quality at all. So, what is the actual goal? It really depends on you. But maybe, yeah. Maybe we'll get there. We'll get there, yeah, in time. It's a slow process, but just keep making stuff. Hopefully people will enjoy it. And it'll be, even if not 100K subscriber worthy, it'll be something that I can enjoy. All right, if you got any last questions, I'm going to wrap it up here shortly. It's been almost 2 hours. Adults celebrating birthdays. God darn it, Mantic. Thank you again for the Blaster Corn. Happy birthday, Beret. Thank you, Mike. I appreciate it. Let's see, I got that $5 earlier to go buy myself a bubble tea, so I will, of course, have to spend that. Yes, SoCal prices. Only that much for bubble tea. Yes, definitely. Thanks for chatting. Appreciate the chatting, Valerie. Love that's why I do it. It's nice to get to talk to people for a little bit on an actual live stream. You need a dart to a podcast. Oh, you gotta give it that dart to. Shoot on that thing. I don't like that. Which is better, Elite 2.0 or Alpha Strike? Ooh, I'm gonna need specific examples. Elite 2.0 evolved okay. I think the next generations of, well, part of Elite 2.0 was basically Alpha Strike, so I can see the concern just being raised. See, you gotta be careful about chasing trends, right? You gotta be careful. Sometimes it's not worth it, and other times it's just what you gotta do. But what exactly is a trend to chase in Nerf? It's like when Nerf makes videos chasing trends, you just sit back and watch. You're like, okay, that's okay. Silence, brand. It's a little embarrassing. At least when Sophie was doing their social media, she was much quicker to the punch on chasing trends. She was very good at that because that's basically been her whole job ever since like getting into TikTok. But whoever's doing it now, same with X-Shot. X-Shot really goes above and beyond on that one. Maybe I need to. I'm gonna cherry pick some of those videos and we'll spotlight those maybe in a video. Maybe that'll be on the Bird channel. Alrighty, folks. Well, thank you, Mantic. I'll see you later as well. I will wrap it up here then. Thank you, everyone, for jumping in. Say thank you again for also being part of my revival for my love for the Nerf hobby. Happy birthday, Beret. Have a good day. I appreciate that, and I'm very glad that I've been able to keep some people interested in the Nerf foam flinging scene, but also bring in maybe some others who either are brand new to it or looking for a little bit of a revival. So that does mean a lot. I will hope that you all have a safe rest of your day and also a happy Halloween, as we are pretty darn close to that one. Go do some spooky things, but within reason. Don't be dangerous. Stay safe. Don't smash no pumpkins now. We pay money for those. Good pumpkins. I hate when people do that.